limits are that we do. So the minimum limits that we do as a company are 70,000 on that. We also do not do any type of mobile homes, unfortunately, but 70,000 is our minimum.
Sought a mortgage for a tiny home.
I've never had anyone call in about that, and I know that that's a growing field, I guess.
Well, it is a growing field. We have a manufacturer in the area that I believe was in Cleveland that moved his maybe his headquarters, maybe his plant to Chattanooga, according to a story I saw recently at Nooga.com. Tiny homes are very, very small houses. They're big enough to fit on the back of a flatbed truck. And I think when they're laid on the ground, they're laid on skids. There's no foundation, but the cost on a tiny home is, I thought, very high. They were, past above this minimum limit that Home Rate Mortgage has set for its sales.
Wow. I never even knew that we had someone local here that did the tiny homes on that.
Well, there's been in the political sector, Justin McNeese of Home Rate Mortgage, a discussion about affordable housing, and that's why I asked about the minimum size. Houses are new houses are by one measure 25% over their actual price because of the cost of regulation on the contractor. And I talked with Chris Long, who is an architectural consultant and a former builder, and he says that it is about 25%, and that is of needless construction costs. But that figure also includes regulatory costs upon the acquisition of the lot, and that's in the direction of stormwater expense that the developer has to pay to develop a lot. So 25% is the additional cost. What about affordable housing? That it seems like the intervention of the state, the intervention of county and city regulators in that market are making costs higher. What about really affordable housing, which would be in the direction of loan-free? Obviously, these would be houses built without loans on abandoned property or city property that's not in use for anything, has not been in use for years, that would be built by the homeless people in town. We say the affordable housing problem causes homelessness and is at the root of homelessness. What do you think about houses built without debt, built with cast-offs and things that poor people find in the course of their wanderings around in a lot like that? That could be called a shanty town. But my title of my analysis on this is that your shanty town is my free trade zone. A free trade zone, again, implies no restrictions on what people do. If they're doing it in good faith and without injuring anybody, they can build as they want from what they want in the manner that they want. What do you think about that? What do you see in the affordable housing market?
Well, I would say this from my opinion, that if you were to have basically unregulated buildings being put up
exactly.
on that it would get people off the streets on that. I would be concerned about the safety, the number of people that would be put into a single home on that. So while I think it's good, I think it has it has some potential to some negatives on it.
Well, that's the I think the standard argument against having a free market is that there's safety and human and safety and health interests require us to require us to tell people how to build houses, and therefore we cannot have a free market in housing because we, the regulators, which are connected with the building trades, we have an interest in getting our products out there, and we don't want there to be any permission to homeless people to build claptrap houses from cast-offs and corrugated sheets and old lumber and tossed aside plywood from real developers, right? Who throw away tons of stuff. We can't have that because there's a health and safety question. But I ask you, is that not just a bit patronizing? And are you not in saying that preventing people from having homes? You are preventing people from building anything because you say, well, it has to be paid for and it has to be under regulation.
I would say, to answer your question, that probably a little bit of yes on that. But my concern is that the people wouldn't be taken care of. They would be in buildings that would be unsafe. And so I don't know how you would go about making it even more affordable, but having the safety that you need and the regulations that you need on that.
You would say we need to not allow reform in that direction.
I would say that we need to not have it completely open, so that people can take handoffs and hodgepodge a house on that. I personally would not be for that. I think there's got to be a better way and a different way to go.
Well, this is David Tulis. We are here at the Sabrena and Ben Real Estate Show every Tuesday here at AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. We are the All Talk station, the station for the man who matters. And you, the listener of the show, no doubt, if you are a woman, for the woman who matters as well. We're talking with Justin McNeese, who is one of the techs and sales reps at Home Rate Mortgage. You can call. What's the number to call you, Justin, if my listener wants to connect with you regarding a mortgage?
If you guys want to call us about a mortgage, call us at 423-805-9100.
805
9100.
9100. This is David Tulis, and I'm putting Justin on the spot a little bit about asking about an area that's outside of his business expertise, which he is in the mortgage business. The buyers of mortgages are people who are buying existing homes in the regulated sector, and that meet code. And if these are new houses, meet new codes that are constantly being subjected to new standards, UL requirements, blow-proof requirements, and other things, glass quality, installation rules, and so on, that add, by the estimation of Chris Long, who is a candidate for mayor. I'm not sure where he is in his announcing process, and he is also an architectural consultant. He says that the 25% of the cost of a new house are from needless money, kind of business-driven rules and regulations brought upon builders by a regulatory apparatus. Well, Justin, tell me a little bit more about what you do every day. Do you do a lot of driving around, meeting people? Do you go to properties, or is yours just a boring office job at Home Rate Mortgage?
I'm not gonna say it's a boring office job, because every day is different and every scenario is different. I do spend my day at the office making outbound calls, emails, following up with realtors, following up with those who are looking at pursuing a loan with us. Not a lot of outbound driving or anything like that anymore for me.
Now, what is the again, my listener just joined us. What is the general rate going now for a loan for a house?
So right now, if you want to go FHA, you're looking, anywhere between about 3.5, a little bit higher depending on credit score and loan amount.
And what that means is the interest, the borrower pays 3.5% of the total amount per year. Is that right?
Yes.
He pays 3.5% of the total amount borrowed per year. Well, we are glad you're giving us a few minutes of your time. We are at the Sabrena and Ben Real Estate Show, brought to you by Home Rate Mortgage. And you can get a quick quote from Home Rate Mortgage by going online. Remind my listener of the website.
www.homeratemortgage.com.
HomeRateMortgage.com, or call 805-9100. This is David Tulis, and Justin, thanks for giving our listener a chat.
David, thanks for having me.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Starting at $9.99 a month. Hi, I'm Sabrina with Sabrina Realty Associates. Now is a great time to sell your home. In our area, inventory is at an all-time low, which translates into higher sales prices. Call us today at 423-499-7780 to set up a free consultation and discuss our unique and aggressive marketing programs. We will provide you with a free market analysis to determine the right value of your home. Call us today at 423-499-7780 or visit our website at SabrinaRealty.com.
We're at the Cantina at Amigos Mexican Restaurant. Yes, ma'am. 2 orders of nachos with beef and beans and 2 beers. Chattanooga loves its Amigos restaurants, but the Amigos in Hickson has something extra. NCAA, the week's big game. How about a house wine? Really good. Big name beers. Just tell Maria what you want. And here at Amigos, margaritas are popular. And it's only $3 a day. If you come here on a game day, Saturday, a Natty Light is only $2.25. Here at Amigos, just during NCAA, Natty Light, $2.25. Amigos Mexican Restaurant in Hickson. The happy hour is 3 to 9 today and every day. I'd say the atmosphere is festive. Look at that huge TV. It's like being amid the fans under a bright sun, but without all the heat. Stay cool. Quench your thirst. Amigos, between the Staples and Hobby Lobby. Take the table next to mine and enjoy the great NCAA game with friend or family here at the Cantina at Amigos Mexican Restaurant. Okay, it's starting.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Fox News Talk 1240.
Hot 1240 Hot News Talk Radio with your Hot News Now update. Cops are investigating a crash on Highway 58. It happened at the 4700 block about 8:30 p.m. last night. Hamilton County deputies say that 2 ambulances were on scene, 2 victims taken to the hospital. Unable to acquire taxpayer funds, Commissioner Joe Graham went for a voluntary option. The county commission voted to not pay for the painting of the Lookout Valley Recreation Center, so donations were gathered and over $2,500 was obtained. Graham says the work may begin as soon as Saturday. A gunshot was fired and a hot slug pierced a man's stomach on St. Elmo Avenue this morning. He's been taken to the hospital. This happened before 2 a.m. this morning. Feds used taxpayer money to buy cocaine in a sting operation, and now Rashad Norwood is getting 40 months in federal prison for selling cocaine. He was arrested back in 2015 and has now been sentenced. $1,700 worth of funds was used to buy the cocaine. If it's going on in the Tennessee Valley, it's going on Hot 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. Like us on Facebook and get us on the TuneIn radio app on your smartphone.
Expect some passing clouds, but still dry and warm out there. High temperatures of around 80 tonight. A few more clouds overnight, lows much milder, 60 to 62. Check out JCPenney and get an extra 20% off select items with your JCPenney credit card and coupon, or 15% with any other form of payment. That's getting your pennies worth at JCPenney. And I'm Storm Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Matt Report on AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio.
We do thank you for joining us here for a few minutes with the Sabrena and Ben Real Estate Show. I have here in the studio Justin McNeese, who is a salesman with Home Rate Mortgage, and we're finding out more about his career, a little bit about his experience in selling insurance door to door as a young man, a very trying experience. Also, he sold swimming pools, learning how to get into the details. And elsewhere in other parts of his life, he was involved in the sale of electronics and cell phones. Quite a different field than mortgages, I would say, Justin.
Yes, absolutely. Very different. You go from retail-oriented to a office-type job where you're having a huge impact on people's finances and can really change their lives in some situations.
Well, we've been mentioning Home Rate Mortgage. Let me ask you, Justin, how is it that the listener what are the qualifications for obtaining mortgage services? What does the listener have to have in mind if he's shopping around for mortgage providers or sellers?
So I just want to make sure that I'm clear on exactly what you're asking. So you're asking, how do I determine which lender to go with?
Right. Put it in fewer words. Yes.
Okay. So generally, there's a lot of different companies that you can go with on there, and choosing one, you could throw a stick and whichever one you hit could probably get the job done. So if you want to make sure that you're going with the right lender on this, you want someone who's going to have the expertise that can take a look at your situation and find out what is best for you on this. You don't want someone who's only going to be in it for them. You want someone who's going to take a look at your unique situation. Everybody's different, and find the solution that's the best fit for that.
Give an example how that works.
So let's take a look and say that you've got a high credit score. You've got perfect credit. You're looking at purchasing a home for, let's say, $200,000 on there. And let's say that you don't have much of a down payment on it, and you've got a lender who's trying to push you to do 20% down, 20% down, 20% down. Well, you either don't have it or you don't want to put that much money down. You want to put a different amount down. You need a lender that's going to take a look and say, hey, listen, you told me that you want to put this amount down. Here are the programs that you qualify for. Here are your payments. Which one do you want to go with? And basically at that point, they're helping educate you, as the buyer, someone who's looking at borrowing money, as the programs that are available out there, and you're getting to pick which one is going to be in your best interest.
What about picking a realtor? What does my listener need to know about qualifications for a realtor? What kind of questions should he be asking?
I really think that realtors they're an integral part of the home buying experience. And if you have a great realtor like Sabrena who will take you out, show you homes in the price range that you're looking for on there, and are able to help negotiate a great deal for you, those are the realtors that you want to go with. You also want to make sure that the realtor matches your personality. If you're a laid-back person, you don't want to have a realtor that's going to be just pushing you to make an offer on something. So you want to make sure that the personalities connect well, that they're taking you out, they're showing you homes. They don't just have you on an email campaign where they're saying, oh, here are the list of homes that meet your criteria. I mean, you want someone who's going to take an interest in you and show you what's out there and help educate you about, the different neighborhoods, things of that nature, and help find that perfect home for you. Matter of fact, Sabrena has been working with a client of ours recently. It's shown them several homes on there. And this person hasn't been able to say enough kind words about her.
So we have a difference here between good realtors and average realtors. Delineate those two, Justin McNeese of Home Rate Mortgage.
I would say the average realtors, the ones who do this full, the average realtors, I would say, are probably your part-timers who maybe have a full-time job and they do real estate on the side, who don't take you out, don't educate you. The really good realtors are the ones who make this a full-time job. They're available when you have questions. That can be before hours. It can be after hours. They take you out. They show you different homes. Maybe they even show you some homes that are above the price range that you originally felt comfortable with. But you know what? They're working to find that perfect home for you on that piece.
This is David Tulis. We are here at the Sabrena and Ben Real Estate Show. We do thank you for giving us a couple of minutes of your time. We're at AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio, the station that has NASCAR, Sean Hannity, Colin Cowherd, Coast to Coast AM. And we are talking with a salesman who had gone from the sale in the earlier part of his life of physical things such as swimming pools and electronics and insurance door to door. Of course, that's not exactly physical. And we appreciate you giving us a couple of minutes of your time. Well, let me ask about the housing market here in Chattanooga. Justin McNeese, is the housing market in a bubble of some kind? Is there too much building going on now on the home side and the commercial side, given the fact that we have free money from the suppression of interest rates by the Fed that is keeping the top funds rate at about just over 0%?
I'll say that right now, I wouldn't say that we're in a huge bubble. Certainly not like the one that caused the housing crash on that piece for it. So we do have I would say in Chattanooga we have a little bit of oversupply. It's definitely a buyer's market here. There's lots of opportunity. There's lots of homes for purchase, lots of great deals. That's part of the reasons why you need to get yourself a great realtor such as Sabrena and her team to help with that. So definitely a buyer's market.
What role does the FHA play in refinancing among mortgages that home rate sells? Justin McNeese.
So FHA, they basically insure the loan on that piece. FHA plays a part for, let's say, in purchasing, because you can put, say, 3.5% down. So very minimal cash out of pocket to get into a new home and stop that renting. Guys, you're throwing money away almost.
Well, people say people are renting because they don't want to make a commitment on a loan. Is it better to rent in light of the rising prices of houses? Housing prices are higher because of inflation, of the easy money policy, which means at some point that there's going to be a bust. Are people renting smartly, or would you say, Justin McNeese of Home Rate Mortgage, that they should still buy?
I would say they should absolutely buy. At this point, it's not like you're buying a house that is grossly overpriced by any means on this. And so the inflation of the house is only going to end up helping you when it comes time to sell or refinance, because the value of that home is going to be worth even more, and you're going to have a lot more equity in the home.
Well, I really appreciate hearing more about that. So most loans are 30-year loans. The borrower pays over 30 years. And refinancing loans tend to be 15-year notes.
Yes, that is correct. Most people, if they're looking at refinancing, they're looking at cutting the amount of interest that they're paying, and they're going from a 30-year down to a 15-year.
What is the cost above the loan itself for the services that a lender is paid by the borrower? What is the fee that Home Rate charges, and is that fee higher or lower than competitors?
So right now, the only fee that we charge is the processing fee of $795 on that. A lot of other lenders are going to charge you quite a bit more. They're going to charge either 1% origination fee or even higher. Ours is very, very minimal, especially for the work that we do and the communication and the service that we provide to you.
Justin McNeese, tell us a little bit about Home Rate Mortgage and how it got started.
Well, it started with Ben Phillips and Eric Bradshaw. They actually came from a different company, and they founded Home Rate. Home Rate's been around for just a short period of time on that. Their belief is that they take care of their employees, they take care of our clients, and when we do that, we get a lot more people calling in saying, "Hey, my friend used you guys. How can you help?"
So if you, our listener, are one of the many customers of Home Rate Mortgage, make sure you go to the website, and there is a review window. Is that right?
Yes, yes. You can go online.
Talk a bit about that.
Yeah, you can go to homeratemortgage.com. There's an option to write a review. You can also write a review on Google as well for us. If you've used us, you've had a great experience, be sure to let everybody know to either our website at homeratemortgage.com or on Google. And more importantly, call your family and friends and say, "Hey, you know what, guys? They took great care of me. Give them a call."
Now, you ask about the listener what kind of experience he's had with a realtor. I bought my house in Sunny Daisy about 23 years ago or so, and we had engaged a realtor, but I came to the realtor and said, "Look, I'm my own agent. I'm David Tulis, but I represent David Tulis." And so claiming agency for myself, which is, of course, a legal fiction, I was able to claim, had the agent been involved in the actual transaction, I would have been able to claim half of the fee, right? That's 3%. Agents are paid 6%. So I said, well, I'm an agent for myself. I represent David Tulis. Of course, the fictional David Tulis, the agent, represents the real flesh and blood individual. And so had that transaction come about, the other party, the agent of the other party, would have gladly accepted her or his commission of 3% and just yielded to me my 3%. So that was what I did. But as it turned out, in God's providence, we found a house on a hilltop in Saudi Daisy on a couple of acres of land surrounded by forest, and we paid cash for the house, and that made us quick customers for the sellers. Now that's important for your business as well, Justin. The speed of the transaction. How long is Home Rate getting to the closing, or do you how do you rate it as compared to competitors in Chattanooga?
I will say that 30 days is realistically how long you should expect to go from beginning to end on this. That's pretty close to industry standard on that. Some lenders will actually go a little bit over, and we strive to hit those closing dates. So let's say that you've got something that comes up a little bit quicker, or maybe there's a deal that as a realtor went with a different lender and fell through and you need it rushed, we can definitely work with you on that and try to get this thing closed as quickly as possible for you. Ben had a deal that closed in less than 10 days from beginning to end.
Well, what about you, Justin? We're talking.
Ben Phillips.
Ben Phillips, who one of the owners of Home Rate Mortgage. 10 days now. In your case, how quickly have you been able to bring around a sale?
I've been able to assist in getting one done in approximately 10 days on that as well.
And what's the longest the ordeal lasts?
The longest it lasts, it really depends on if all the conditions come back to us. And what that means is when the underwriter says, we've given you a conditional approval, here's some things we need clarification on. It depends on how quickly you, as our borrower, can get that stuff to us.
What kind of hangups come into this transaction to delay it? What are the kind of problems that my listener might want to catch beforehand?
Yeah, so, well, if you're building a new home and you're looking at doing permanent financing, what can come up is that the house isn't quite ready yet, and it takes a month, 2 months before that's actually ready for that. And then some other issues that you have is you've got people who have delayed filing their tax returns on that. And when that comes up, we have to wait until those are filed with the IRS before we can move forward.
Why is that important?
Well, we have to verify income on that, just to make sure that everything is on the up and up. We can't just go by what you say anymore.
You can't use the prior year's return?
Well, we sometimes we need 2 years. So let's say you haven't filed 2015s yet, then we have to wait until that's taken care of.
Do you lend only to taxpayers? What about non-taxpayers? Many people are not liable for federal taxation. Do you deal with them, or do you deal only with taxpayers who file returns?
Right. So you're saying someone say that's on Social Security and that's all they receive, and they don't file a...
Well, they just don't. They're just non-taxpayers. They're in the legal category of non-taxpayers.
We can, actually. I mean, as long as they've got W-2s and pay stubs on that, we can certainly move forward.
Or net worth statements attested by the bank or the mutual fund?
Those we typically don't work with. Not that we can't. It's just that we typically don't.
But because that's not a very common type person.
Right. So this is someone who has a needs that particular loan where the money is verified by cash and deposits into the bank. We can work with. It's just not typical, like you said.
What is the source of capital or credit that for Home Rate Mortgage? What is its funding source?
Yeah, so when you purchase a home, that seller of that home's got to get paid. And where does that money come from? Yes, absolutely.
Where's the check?
So we're actually unique in the fact that we fund our own loans. So what that means is when it's at the closing table and everyone's signed on theirs, the seller is going to get their money, and you're going to get the keys to your new home.
And but in the back room, where does Home Rate obtain its credit from? Does someone drive up in a pickup truck with cash and pallets in the back? Or of course it's not, right?
No. We actually have our own line of credit through a couple of different banks that we use to fund these.
So we're talking with Justin McNeese of Home Rate Mortgage. This is David Tulis. We're here at the Sabrena and Ben Real Estate Hour. Ben Phillips and Sabrena, the maven of real estate here in Hamilton County, also a county commissioner. And we are glad that you're giving us a few minutes of your time. Well, Justin, tell my listener a little bit about. He's a businessman, not involved in sales. What is the great strength of character of mind even that a salesman has to have? How is it that selling is a very wonderful wonderful form of human intercourse?
Well, the thing that's great about selling is it's the close. When you're actually able to help someone and you take them from beginning to end, that's the moment that really drives salespeople. There's a lot of rejection on that. You've got to have thick skin. People are going to tell you no. There's going to be people that you just can't help because maybe they're already in a better situation and you can't help them out. But those people that you can help, that you can save a lot of money for, or that you can help them get them into a new home after they've been renting. We've had people that spend close to $1,000 a month in rent. They get into a new home, they're paying $750. So they're paying less, they're building equity, and they're excited. They're in a bigger place. That is what you're looking for right there. Those people that you can really take care of.
Now, how far out does home rate mortgage lend, geographically speaking?
Well, we do Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina, soon to be Florida, Alabama. We're a growing company, guys. Lots of different states that we work in. We're not just limited to Tennessee or Georgia. So if you have, if you're interested in buying a house in a different state, or maybe your friends and family live there in a different state and you want to send them our way for a purchase or a refinance, we'll be glad to see how we can help them.
This is David Tulis. We're glad you're giving us a couple of minutes of your time. We're talking with Justin McNeese, one of the sales staff at Home Rate Mortgage. We are the station that brings you NASCAR, Sean Hannity, Colin Cowherd, every day, coast to coast AM in the midnight watches, and also for a view of from the patriotic front, that would be Alex Jones. And every Thursday we have the Art Beat. Every evening, just about dinner time, we have Clutch with Keon Rose. And we're pumping Justin McNeese for ideas about sales. And I would add, Justin, about sales. I'm a writer and a journalist, and have been involved in sales in the radio business for 5 months. In fact, I took a break from being a host of a show that ran for 3 years, and said I'm going to do sales now. And
that's a change.
It really is. But what I like about sales is that it's you have to. You're not just talking about yourself. And I had to learn in selling my business to not talk about myself, to talk about the customer. So an advertisement is really a sales pitch, and an advertisement has to be about the customer. So, for example, if I'm selling Home Rate Mortgage, it has to be about the listener. That's what Ben is very good at. That he's very very astute about understanding that a message about his business has to be translated into the ear and mind and the situation of the customer. So it's about the customer. And as my listener know, his commercials have reference to the police officer and the engineer, and here's their story. And isn't it great that they are not renting anymore? They have a bigger place, and they are paying less in the month. And the idea of sales, though, is conceiving by imagination the problem of the customer. And in your field, you have the advantage of having the close, and there's the consummation. The salesman, you and your crew, Justin McNeese, your sales crew, you get the commission. But in my field, the sale is just the beginning, because there's a maintenance of the advertiser. We have to keep checking back with the advertiser. His circumstances may change. So do you miss the follow-up requirements in your field, or are you typical salesman? You just like the close, and then you're gone to the next client and don't have to really go back to the earlier one?
I would say that the good salespeople are never done with their clients. They're always checking in, following up.
Well, how's that in the mortgage field when people get usually one mortgage per lifetime?
Well, so here's how that works. You follow up. One, you make sure that they understand where their payment's going to be going to at first for it. Then you check in with them every so often just to make sure that things are going okay. How are the kids? Happy birthday. Hey, wanted to let you know, you're paying this. Here's something, you can pay even less. Here's what's available. So you're really staying in contact with them, and when you do that, they may not use you again, but they're going to tell other people to use you, because what other company is actually going to follow up and say, "Hey, happy birthday to you"? People think it's a one and done.
So even in this field where you at Home Rate Mortgage, Justin McNeese, are selling one item one time, and you're not going to have a lot of tinkering on the product or really adjustments downstream. You have that relationship with the Home Rate Mortgage customer, because first of all, you want to make sure he's satisfied.
Absolutely.
And then there's, as you point out, there's the referral benefit of saying, well, they do care about me, and and I'm not behind on my payments or anything like that.
Absolutely. That's right.
If you have a customer who's late in his payments, do you hear about that, or how does that work?
So I'm just in trouble. Well, so if someone is late on their payments, one, we don't service the loans. We end up selling them on that piece. But if that's the case, and they are getting behind, or maybe something's happening, maybe we need to look at a different alternative for them. So maybe it's not just that one and done. Maybe we do need to see about a refinance.
Well, is there anything else I haven't asked you, Justin, about the real estate or home mortgage market that my listener might want to just put in the back of his mind for our important messages? I will say this, for the process,
we'll come back, we'll ask you for stuff. Sometimes it may seem like we ask you for the same things again and again. It's because the underwriter has said, hey, we need further clarification. We need this exact item in it. And they are very, very precise. And they do that to protect you as the borrower, to protect us as the lender lending you money. They don't want to cause another crash on this. So they want to be very, very precise in what they're looking for and what they will say clears a certain condition.
You can find out more about your options for a loan at Home Rate Mortgage. Call 805-9100, and you can ask for Justin or any of the capable staff at that shop on East Brandon Road. We'll be glad to help you. Again, that's Home Rate Mortgage, and this is David Tulis at the Sabrena and Ben Real Estate Show every Tuesday. We're here every Tuesday with people in the mortgage field, the home inspection field. Come talk with Sabrena and Ben about their world, all touching on the marketplace and touching on houses and homes for you, my listeners. So if you're thinking of getting out of the renting situation and you want to obtain a loan, check Home Rate Mortgage first and last after you shop that market. You want to call Justin McNeese and Ben. This is David Tulis. We do thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
12 minutes and 40 seconds. We'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Listen up, y'all. Ben Phillips, Home Rate Mortgage, 805-9100. I'm in the business of saving people money. And if you want to save money, pick that cell phone up right now, 805-9100. I received a call that I won't forget. The guy is a Chattanooga police officer who served our great country in the Air Force. A true American hero. Our hero was renting, which cost too much for a space too small. We helped him achieve the American dream. And the best part is this. He purchased a $180,000 home with zero down. His payment is $200 less than what his rent was. And now he has a safe place with more space to raise his family. It's easy, and you can do it too. It just takes 10 minutes and one phone call. 805-9100.
Build on our social issues, spiritual issues, our politics of the Great Commission. How come the moral majority failed? Is voting a religious act? Racism in the South? Get answers now. Reconstructionist Radio.